Good afternoon. I'm Marianna Langston with Southern University Ag Center's Nutrition Education Programs. Thank you for joining us today for this presentation that we're going to be having on solid fats and added sugars. Normally we would say, get off the sofa, and we're thinking about that large piece of furniture that we all spend lots of quality time on. But there's also another version of SoFAS considered solid fats and added sugars. And those make up a large portion of our American diets. Many health problems have been linked to those poor eating habits. Solid fats and added sugars increase the amount of calories in the food and beverages that we're consuming. Those added calories are often referred to as empty calories because they lack the nutrients that we need daily. Fats. Fats are an essential part of our daily diet. There are different types of fats. Some are healthier than other fats. Choose unsaturated fats in the recommended amount as part of your balanced daily diet. When selecting foods, check the nutrition label and choose items that are lower in those saturated and trans fats and higher in your poly and monounsaturated fats. So what is solid fat? Fats are solid at room temperature. Included are both your saturated and trans fats. Saturated fats are found in both animal and plant products. Some of the ones that are found in animal products include things like butter, cheese, milk, and meat cuts. Saturated fats can also, like I said, be found in those plant products. Some examples of those might be your coconut oil or your palm oil. Saturated fats are often in those products, and we don't normally think much about them, but be sure to watch for those when you're making your food choices. Trans fats are often found in those prepackaged snacks, baked goods, and other fried foods that we're consuming. Eat less solid fats. Eating less saturated and trans fats may help lower your risk of heart disease. Solid fats tend to raise your LDL cholesterols in the blood level. Those LDL cholesterol levels are the ones that we often hear referred to as bad cholesterol. Excess calories can contribute to weight gain, and that increases our risk of chronic health problems. Trans fats are found in those prepackaged and processed products that we're purchasing. Saturated fats are found in foods such as our fattier cuts of meat, including beef, pork, and lamb. Your processed meats, palm oil, coconut milk, butter and margarine, cakes, custards, and pastries, and those deep fried foods. Unsaturated fats. Unsaturated fats play an important part of a healthy diet. Those unsaturated fats can help reduce the risk of heart disease and lower cholesterol levels when they replace those saturated fats. The two main types of unsaturated fats are polyunsaturated and monounsaturated. Polyunsaturated fats are essential fats that your body needs and does not produce on its own. Those include fats such as your omega-3s and your omega-6 fatty acids. They can help reduce your cholesterol levels, and they may help reduce your risk of heart disease, and they may help protect against your risk of high blood pressure. Polyunsaturated fats. So where can we find those? Foods with polyunsaturated fats include, and these are just a few examples, oils such as your sunflower, your corn, soybean, and safflower oils. Oily fish such as salmon, mackerel, herring, and albacore tuna. Nuts and seeds such as your walnuts, your Brazil nuts, flax seeds, and sunflower seeds. And again, those are just a few examples. There are other foods that contain those polyunsaturated fats. So your monounsaturated fats, they may help lower those LDL cholesterol levels. Those are the ones that I mentioned that are often referred to as your bad cholesterol. And they may help keep your HDL cholesterol levels where they should be. Those are often referred to as your good cholesterol levels. They may also help improve the function of your blood vessels. So those monounsaturated foods, where can we find those? A few examples would be things such as olives, your oil such as olive, canola, sesame, and peanuts, avocados, nuts including things such as cashews and almonds. And again, these are just a few examples. There are other foods that contain those healthy monounsaturated fats. So how do we identify those solid fats? Well, look on your nutrition facts label. Look for words such as saturated fats and trans fats under your total fats section on that label. You can see that I have highlighted on this facts label the section where you would need to look for those. So you can also use your ingredient list to help you find and identify those solid fats. Look for words such as butter or coconut oil, cream, hydrogenated oils, palm kernel oils, partially hydrogenated oils, lard, or shortening. But that ingredient label will also enable you to find those healthier fats that we were talking about. You can see that I highlighted this to kind of give you an example of some words that might be listed on that ingredient list. So how do you make those changes? Choose your leaner cuts of meat and poultry. Trim visible fats from meat. Remove the skin from your poultry before eating. Use small amounts of vegetable oil instead of butter or lard or margarine when cooking. Switch to your lower fat milk products. Try to grill, broil, poach, or roast instead of deep frying. And look at that label and choose the food with the lower amounts of fat. All right, so the next part of that SoFAS that we were talking about, what are added sugars? Added sugars are sweeteners and syrups that are added when food and beverages are prepared or processed. Many of the foods and beverages consumed each day contain these added sugars. These added sugars add extra calories and contribute few or no nutrients. So how do we spot those added sugars? Some examples might be words such as brown sugar, corn syrup, corn solids, fructose, high fructose corn syrup, inverted sugar, malt syrup, sucrose, and sugar. And these are just a few of the words that may be used in that ingredient list. So it's important to check there and also make yourself familiar with any other words that might represent those added sugars. So how do we eat less of those added sugars? Limit the amount of added sugars and it will help decrease the amount of calories that you're consuming. Added sugars give us more calories, but do not provide any vitamins, mineral, or other nutrients for our diets. Consuming too much sugar can also lead to weight gain. Now, ways to change. Enjoy foods that are naturally sweet. Drink water or 100% fruit juice instead of those sugar-sweetened beverages. Use spices and herbs to enhance the flavor of your foods instead of adding a sweetener. Choose fewer foods that are high in sugar. Be aware of those other names like I just mentioned for the added sugars on labels. Eat fresh fruits or fruits that are canned in water or natural juice instead of syrup. All right, so a quick review of what our SoFAS are. Just remember, fats are an essential part of our daily diet. There are a few different types of fats, and some are healthier than others. Choose those unsaturated fats in the recommended amounts as part of your balanced daily diet. Limit added sugars. They increase the amount of calories consumed, but do not add those vitamins, minerals, and other nutrients that we need daily. Added sugars and sweeteners and syrups that are added, just remember, those are added when food and beverages are prepared or processed. And remember to use that facts label and ingredient list to help you identify the sources of those added sugars as well as those solid fats. And the facts label and ingredient list can help you choose foods that are lower in those saturated fats, trans fats, and added sugars. So now that we've learned a lot more about SoFAS, I challenge you to start selecting foods that are lower in saturated fats, lower in trans fats, and watch for those added sugars. Start with just one change in the beginning. Once you have made a habit of that change, then add in another one. Changing one thing at a time often results in the change becoming a permanent change. Also, changing one thing at a time also will help make those changes less overwhelming. So just remember, watch for those added sugars and those solid fats and try to start making those changes. Thank you for joining us today. I'm Marianna Langston, a nutrition educator with the Southern University Ag Center Nutrition Program. Please join us again tomorrow at 2 p.m. for our next lesson.